Did Selena Gomez, Grammy-nominated artist, billion-dollar beauty mogul, one of the most followed women on the planet, just kiss her husband's toe on a podcast to prove a point to the internet? Because that's exactly what happened. And the internet is absolutely done. Okay, so before we get into the tour, yes, we are getting into the tour. Let's quickly set the scene. Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco got married in September 2025. And look, from the jump, fans had feelings about this relationship. Benny is not your typical celebrity partner. He's goofy, he's loud, he's proudly unpolished. And Selena seemed to love exactly that about him. For a while, it was kind of sweet. After years of highly publicized, deeply painful relationships, here was Selena just happy, laughing, being silly. Fans were cautiously on board, but then came the podcast. On February 24th, 2026, Benny Blanco launched his new podcast called Friends Keep Secrets. And within 48 hours, it had already gone viral, just not for the reasons you'd hope. Two things happened in that debut episode that the internet could not let go of. Number one, Benny was sitting on a couch with his bare feet propped up, and viewers immediately started screenshotting what they were calling visibly dirty feet. Like, we're not talking a little dusty. People were zooming in. It was a whole forensic investigation. Number two, and this is the part that really sent people, Benny deliberately farted on a hot microphone. And then, I need you to understand this. He turned to his co-host and asked, quote, "Did the mic pick that up?" It picked it up, Benny. Now look, some people thought it was funny, gross out humor, shock value, classic Benny being Benny. But a lot of Selena's fan base, the Selenators, were not laughing, because this is the man their girl chose, and he is asking a microphone if it caught his fart. By February 26th, clips were everywhere, Dirty Feet was trending, fans were jokingly, and some not so jokingly, telling Selena to divorce him. So Benny, to his credit, tried to do damage control. On March 2nd, he went on Jimmy Kimmel Live and addressed the whole dirty feet thing directly. He claimed the studio floor was just dirty, and he actually removed his sock on camera to prove his feet were clean. Was it convincing? Debatable, but here's where things took a turn nobody was ready for. One day later, March 3rd, Selena herself appeared on the podcast, and in what was clearly meant to be a say less, I've got this power move, she leaned down and kissed Benny's toe, on camera, on the podcast, for the internet. The dialogue around the moment, Benny goes, "You like that?" And Selena says, "Don't make it a moment." Selena, honey, it became a moment. Because here's the thing, eagle-eyed viewers immediately pointed out that in the so-called rebuttal clip, the feet still looked dirty. So now, instead of killing the story, she had accidentally poured gasoline on it. By March 4th, the ick was trending across every platform. Let me paint you a picture of what social media looked like for the next 72 hours. On X, people were posting memes comparing the couple to Shrek and Fiona, and not in the cute, empowering way. One tweet that went massively viral said, "I'm putting my phone in a bowl of rice and going for a long walk. The internet has reached its limit," and honestly, valid. On TikTok, creators were stitching the clip with gagging sounds. There were POV videos from the perspective of being a Selena fan in 2026. The hashtag Benny Blanco Dirty Feet racked up millions of views. Reddit's r/pop culture chat had thread after thread trying to unpack what was happening. And then there were the more serious conversations about the ick factor, about what it means when a woman of Selena's stature feels the need to physically perform devotion to silence critics on the internet. Because that's really what this is about, right? The toe wasn't random. It was a statement, and the statement backfired. Here is the tension at the center of all of this, and I think it's actually worth talking about seriously for a second. Selena Gomez built an empire on the concept of rare. The album, the beauty brand, the whole ethos, it was about self-worth, self-respect, knowing your value. Rare beauty alone is now worth over $1 billion. This woman is a cultural institution. And now the same woman is on a podcast kissing her husband's toe to clap back at Twitter. Now, is that her right? Absolutely. Is she allowed to be goofy and in love and completely unbothered by public opinion? 100%. But fans aren't just reacting to the toe, they're reacting to a pattern. The fat podcast, the dirty feet, the need to publicly prove the relationship is fine by doing the one thing guaranteed to make everyone more uncomfortable. There's also this detail that keeps resurfacing. Back in 2024, Benny admitted in an interview that he doesn't shower daily because he likes to let his natural oils rejuvenate, and people are now treating that comment as Exhibit A. Some fans have floated what they're calling the spell theory, this half-joking, half-serious idea that the behavior is so out of character for Selena that something must be off. Are they being over-dramatic? Probably. But it tells you something about how jarring the shift feels to people who have followed her for years. The real question isn't whether Selena is happy. She looks happy. The question is, does being authentically happy have to mean performing it for the internet in ways that undermine the image you spent a decade building? So was this just the couple being goofy and in love, completely unbothered by what a bunch of strangers on the internet think? Or is something about Selena's rare era quietly fading out, traded in for fart podcasts and toe kissing? I honestly don't know. And maybe that's the point. Maybe she doesn't care what we think. Maybe that's the most rare thing she's ever done. Or maybe, just maybe, the feet were actually dirty. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Does this give you the ick, or is the internet completely overreacting? And if you made it to the end of a video about Benny Blanco's feet, subscribe, you've earned it,